Hey there, gorgeous! Today I'm going to show you how to go from this to this. I have some really easy steps that you can take today to cover blemishes on the skin. Keyword being healing, healing, healing. You never want to apply makeup over the top of any open wound because it can create an infection and make things worse. It's a big old mess. And it doesn't even look that good when you do put makeup on top of something that is open and not fully healed. Before you apply any makeup, you do want to apply a primer of some kind. It can be a face primer, it can be an eyeshadow primer. That's what I'm going to be using here. And you only need a very small amount over the top, and this will help the makeup that you're applying to stay in place. Most wounds that are healing have redness, and you'll see that in the skin. So to counteract the redness, you want to apply a green color corrector. I'm going with this one from Graftobian. This is the one in Mute Green. It's been my go-to green color corrector for years now. And you do not need much. This is too much. So I'm going to tap off the excess there and apply a small amount over the top of my little friend here. And I'm going to use my finger to blend that into the skin. Looking better already. Next thing you want to use is a concealer that matches the tone of your face. You don't want to use a concealer that you traditionally use under your eyes, which helps to brighten, because then you'll be drawing attention to this little guy. I am using the Neutrogena Radiant Cream Concealer. The shade that I'm using is Ecru Light 2. This is not a shade that I would typically use underneath my eyes, which makes it great for covering minor imperfections on the face. And I'm taking a very small amount, again using my finger. I'm going to tap that over the blemish and thin it out. So you don't want a lot of product. You want to focus more or less on thinning it out and putting a very small amount over the top. Next step is to take a little bit of powder. I'm using Revlon's blurring powder. I'm going to lightly tap that over the blemish. And then if you feel you need to, you can add a tiny little bit more concealer over the top. Now you do have to be careful with layering, especially over the top of things like this, because if you apply too much product, then you can make it more noticeable. So you really have to do it based off of what you feel looks best. If less is more, go with that. And I'm taking that and tapping it back in. Now it's not going to be perfect, but it's dramatically reduced from where it was to where it's not this blaring, obvious thing on my face that everyone is looking at. I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of my face makeup quickly here. So I'm adding a concealer and foundation, but I am going to be mindful to not apply too much foundation over the top of that area that I just covered. So what I'll do is I'll thin out the foundation on the rest of my face there, and then I'll come in and go over the top. So there's a cohesive blend going on, but I'm not focusing the product directly on top of where I already applied all the other product. I do recommend using less powder than more when it comes to setting the top of something like this, and you do want to use a fluffier brush so you're not having a dense application, because the more powder you add, the more you're going to emphasize that little thing that we just spent so much time covering. And it's best, if you want to ensure nothing's going to move, to apply a setting spray at the end rather than relying on powder to set the makeup for you. And that's pretty much it. Now, obviously, if I was really close to you, you could still see it. Like, you can still see that I have something there. But most of us are not walking around like this far from someone's face. I mean, really. Usually, you're further back from someone like this, and you can see that it is much less pronounced than it would have been had I not employed these techniques. So if you're looking for a confidence boost, something that will help you put your best face forward, and you're not having to worry about this blaringly obvious wound healing on your face, then I do hope that you found these tips helpful. And if you know someone who could benefit from this video, please share it with them. If you enjoyed this and you found value in it, please give this video a thumbs up. And if you want to hang out with me more in the future, you are always welcome to subscribe. Thank you for being here, for taking the time to watch. I speak love, peace, and joy into you and into your home, and I look forward to seeing you again next time.